Google's Nest thermostat has been out for some time now, which is all the more reason I figured we should have a look at it to see how it fares going into late 2023. After all, there are plenty of other affordable smart thermostats out there, and it is a much more competitive market. Now, fair caveat, I am reviewing the base Nest thermostat. This is not the e-learning version, which does cost a fair bit more, and my honest opinion isn't necessarily worth its extravagant price point. After all, the real difference, aside from a different design, is that one has an additional layer of automation where it learns your schedule, your routines, and develops one for you, whereas this Nest thermostat does not have that added functionality. So without further ado, let's see what the Nest thermostat is looking like going into 2023. The installation process for the Nest thermostat is about 20 to 30 minutes. I'm not going to walk you through it as there are countless videos already doing that. What I will tell you is that in some cases you might need the optional C-wire and also a trim kit to install your Nest thermostat correctly, neither of which are included from the get-go and is a bit of a cash grab move by Google in my honest opinion. But other than that, it's a pretty straightforward process and the Google Home app generally walks you through what you have to do. Otherwise, again, like I said, go check out the countless materials already available on the internet or right here on YouTube. I strongly believe that the Nest thermostat is still, aesthetically speaking, the most amazing looking thermostat you can buy right now. While other smart thermostats often try to give a more utilitarian look and some just look outright hideous, the Nest thermostat tries to blend into the environment. Its rounded plastic design with a high quality trimming finish really make it seem like a premium product, and the most stunning part, of course, is that glass mirror-like surface finish with that gorgeous LCD screen at the center, which, if you didn't know better, you would think that the entire rounded surface is a screen itself, even though it's only a small portion at the center. All things combined just give it a very aesthetically pleasing, yet ultimately subtle look that almost makes it look like a house decor piece in many cases, and by the way, it comes in multiple color options as well. You can control your Nest thermostat in one of two ways. The first one, of course, are the onboard controls. So it's basically a tap and swipe mechanism, if you will. So for example, if you swipe downwards to upwards, you increase the desired temperature, and vice versa, you reduce the desired temperature. Tapping will prompt the menu screen, and you do have a selection of all the core settings directly available on the thermostat, so you can operate directly from there. But if I'm being dead honest, the swipe and tap functionality is miserable in my opinion. It's oversensitive. I frequently end up selecting the wrong actions, and it can be a bit of a navigation nightmare just because of how limited the controls are. They honestly should have just included buttons or a spindle in this case, and it would have been a far better implementation. Thankfully, since this is after all a smart thermostat, you can control all the operations and more directly from your smartphone. Nest thermostat can be directly controlled through the Google Home app, which in itself is fantastic if you're invested into the Google ecosystem, as it allows you to control all your other stuff. So in my case, I have all my smart switches, light switches, bulbs, everything integrated through the Google Home app. Adding the Nest thermostat just felt like a natural thing to do. Anyway, as far as the controls go, you have a very friendly UI over here, which allows you to manually adjust the desired temperature. You can also go through the various modes. So for example, cooling, heating, a mix of both, or entirely turning off your HVAC system. You also have these presets like comfort, sleep, and eco. Essentially, these are fixed temperatures, so rather than manually adjust your thermostat every time, you can just select a preset. If you have fixed preferences, it's pretty handy. And you can also set desired schedules to them, or timers if you will. So if you only want sleep mode on for a certain period, you can set a timer for it. And then if your HVAC system supports it, you can manually control the fan settings. In my case, it's entirely automatic, so that function isn't quite available to me. The app also allows you to adjust basic settings like Celsius versus Fahrenheit, or the ability to activate the display based on proximity. But some of the more advanced features that I want to talk about include, firstly, well, location tracking, or I believe they call it presence sensing. So basically, Google can track whether you are at home or not using location tracking technology. I know, it's Google doing what they do best, stalking you, but it works in your favor here on the bright side, and basically automatically turn your HVAC system on or off. You can even use advanced features like early on to determine how much prior to you entering your house the air conditioner or heating should turn on, thereby again making your home cozy well before you enter through the doorstep. Now, it's also worth noting, you have other features like the ability to set custom presets for your thermostat, and of course turn off each of these features individually. You also have access to create a custom schedule for every day of the week. So if you have a very fixed or static routine for every day, it's really useful to be able to take matters in your own hand. And you also have Google's take on an energy dashboard, though I find it to be only partially useful as it tells you the amount of time your HVAC system was on for, but doesn't give you any estimate of how much electricity you've used or any sort of cost breakdown. That might be a nice feature to add in the future. Some other noteworthy features include the fact that your Nest thermostat has proximity sensing built in, meaning when you are nearby, it automatically activates the LCD display, showing you all the information at a glance. And when you walk away, it automatically shuts that LCD display off. And also, of course, the fact that you can use Google's voice assistant to control most of the actions for your thermostat, whether setting presets or adjusting the temperature manually or turning off or on your HVAC system or setting it to a specific mode. It really is super practical. At a $130 price point, the Nest thermostat isn't necessarily the cheapest smart thermostat out there. There are plenty of other options in that category, but I do think it is one of the more value-oriented ones. Firstly, it has Google's full backing. After all, it is a first-party product, so it has deep Google app integration, including full voice command assist, as well as, of course, constant refinements, and the Google Home app is well integrated with this product. On top of that, you also have one of the most aesthetically pleasing designs I've seen on a smart home product, bar to none. Even Apple could take some notes from Google on this one. Now, with that said, of course, it's not a perfect product. The onboard navigation controls are quite questionable and pretty subpar, if I'm being honest. And also, of course, the energy dashboard could use a ton of improvement. But the fact is that overall, this is a very practical product. It serves its purpose as a smart Wi-Fi oriented thermostat and also brings some really useful features that I personally use on a day-to-day basis. Even in 2023, this remains one of the best thermostats out there in the market, and its popularity for the most part is entirely justified. Hopefully you found this review to be of, well, significance and help to you. Let me know if you'll be getting the Nest thermostat or if you already have one and how your experience has been. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the content, you know what you gotta do. Hit that sub button, make my day, and allow me to grow so I can provide more quality content just like this. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one.